everyone. I think we are officially live on Facebook, and tonight, as promised, I am going to demonstrate the Give It a Whirl dies. Now, I published a video on these about a week ago, and I've had a bunch of people ask about a certain one. So let me just review the ones that I've already shown, and you can take a look at those in case you missed that video. This one right here features the Hey Girlfriend stamp set, and that's just an extra piece of paper in there. I'm not even sure how that got there. And it just spins around just like so. Okay, this one right here features the Turtle Friends, and just a really fun one. And there's the little turtle, and that spins all the way around. There we go. And then I did two of them with the Stellar Birthday stamp set. So those are really fun for kid cards. And then the little chocolate one that I love here. It says, because adulting is hard, and you've got, you know, your tea, your coffee, your cookies, and your chocolates. So that one's really fun. But the one everyone keeps asking me about is this Woodland Wonder card. So this one was a little bit different, and honestly a little bit more of a challenge to create. So I am just going to tell you right now, I am nervous about doing this one in front of everyone because it did require a lot of effort to do it. But we are going to do this one, and I will show you how it's done. So if you're wondering where the Woodland Wonder stamp set can be found, it is not in the annual catalog. It is in the January through June mini catalog. And the things that are in this catalog are a lot of them are going to be retiring at the end of June. And that includes this Woodland Wonder stamp set, which is on page 53. So if this is something you want, you definitely want to get it ordered soon, because after June, at the end of June, it won't be available anymore. So it is absolutely adorable, and I think you're definitely going to want to add it to your next order. So that, again, on page 53 of the mini catalog. Now I want to point out to you, I've got a host code listed above there. That host code is only good through May 31st, 2021. And if you use that host code on orders of $50 or more, then you are going to get one of those cards, those Give It a Whirl cards that I showed you, as well as the 2021-2023 in color jewels. So this is just a fun little embellishment. I can put this inside your card and send that to you as a thank you gift. So I have a limited supply of those and a limited supply of cards. So the first orders to get in that are $50 or more, use that host code, and I will send these to you. All right, so I want to review just a little bit about the Give It a Whirl dies. So here they are again, and you can see there's quite a few pieces with this. So if you haven't watched my first video, I do recommend you go look that up on YouTube, because it does have a lot of tips and tricks. But I have played with it a little bit more, and I've come up with even more tips and tricks. So let me show you a couple of things that I've done. So one of the things that is proving to be very helpful for me is I made some black templates. These are out of black cardstock, and I went ahead and cut the wheels, and then I put the little openings on those also. So you can line up the hole on the die with the hole that forms on the wheel. You can line that up, run that through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You'd have to do that 3 different times, but this allows you now to have a template for knowing exactly where to stamp. And we're going to use that tonight with the round one. So you can see I've got a round. I did a rectangle. Now the reason I only did 2 on the rectangles is because these actually overlap a little bit here. If I cut this one out too, I wouldn't have this triangle in the middle to act as a guide. Okay, and then I have this one right here. Okay, kind of looks like a peace sign, so I'm sure you can make a cute little card out of that also. So I do suggest you make those up. This is one of those things, if you make them up right away, it's going to save you time in the long run. So that's great. Now, I have had a few people mention that they don't necessarily like it when it cuts and it has this little circle in the main piece. So this piece right here, when it cuts, you are going to get this little circle if you just cut this, and you will get a slight line here too. Now, I have another video that I'm shooting probably at the end of this week, and I'm going to show you some really creative ways to cover up that line. It's not really a design flaw, that's really just the way it's meant to be, but I am going to show you some ways tonight as we run this through. Now, when you run this through with one of the windows, so like this window right here, when you run it through with that, you don't get the hole, okay? So you're not going to have that hole in there. So when you're running it through with a window, I'm going to turn it over the back way so you can see there. This fits right on there. You want it just to hook there, and then you can move it wherever you like, and you can even move it down here if you like instead. So you can move that wherever you want, but that bar is there to actually stabilize that. And so it isn't a design flaw. That is how that is meant to hook that on there and get the placement right. So when you do that, you don't get the little hole in the middle like you do if you just cut this cover, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make that clear to everyone. So we're going to get started on our card, and we've got die cutting to do first. So we're going to get that out of the way. So let me get everything in place here, and I'm going to just check and see who's on and what we've got going on here. So yeah, if you're here, just let me know, and I'm hoping I can see comments here pretty soon. I think I can. I just have to figure out how to do it. There we go. Okay, so comments should be coming up. But yeah, let me know if you're here. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And we're going to get creating here. So again, this is what we're making. This is my template. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, okay, I can now see your comments. Yay! Hi, Kathy and Stacy. I see both of you. Awesome. Okay. So the first thing I want to cut is that. So I've got two pieces of Whisper or Basic White. I've got to get that straight. Okay. So two pieces of Basic White cardstock. The first one I am going to cut with our wheel. So all I'm going to do is this little peace sign looking one. I'm going to put it on there. And one of the things I like to do, there's so many cute little bits and bubbles in this. I love these little stitched clouds. So if I've got extra space, I just go ahead and put those on there so that those cut too. Even if I'm not going to use them, I'll save them. I'll put them in my little stash and save those for a little bit. So let me go right here. And boy, all you people in Texas and Florida, man, I bet you've got some hot weather. We gripe here if it gets in the 80s. So, but I did live in Texas for a while, so I do know how hot that gets. All right, so I'm just going to set those clouds aside. Even though I do use them on this card, we're just not going to worry about it. So there is our wheel. And you probably can't see this. You might be able to see it with the light, but there are slight indentions, and those are good for lining up your stamping also. But I think you're really going to love seeing me use the template with that. So we're going to set this aside. I'm going to throw those clouds over here, get them completely out of the way. And then our next piece is that front cover piece. So we have to put it together. And on this one, I am doing the circle on the bottom. So it ends up looking like this, okay? And I'm gonna put that in place. And I will say that this has almost always jumped out of place on me, almost every single time I've done it. So I have started using sticky notes, at least until we get our magnetic plates back. I want to make sure that that doesn't move. So I've just got a sticky note on there to hold that in place. And then I'm going to run it through. And let me get my paper up there. Okay. Is it possible to increase the volume? Let me see. Let's look. I think, well, I think that took it off. I'm not sure. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. All right. I just gave it a boost. Is that helping? Let me know. Let me know if that helps with the volume. Got a different booster on that. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so we ran that through, and that puts our little circle there on the bottom. Okay, and then one final thing I have to do before I got on tonight, I went ahead and I stamped the tree and the tree trunk. Now I cut these out with my scan and cut, so I mean, I know most of you know I have one of those. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel if you want to see how that's done. But what I'm doing is I am going to put the little circle right on those, because one's going to go at the top, one's going to go at the bottom. Oh good, you guys can hear it now. Awesome. Okay, and so we want these edges just rounded. So I'm going to put that in there just so that I can round those off. And let me put another sticky note, because again, I don't want those moving. I'd like that to go perfectly the first time. Good. Yay, you can hear me. I'm excited. Hi, Fran, and hi, Emma. And Emma, I know you just placed an order. I had told everyone earlier in the video, I don't know if you got that or not, but if you placed a $50 order or more and you use the host code, you were going to get the one of these cards as well as the in color jewels. So I've already got your other order and the order you placed tonight. Don't worry about it. I am going to get you taken care of, so you will get that as well, because you placed an order, what, a week ago too? So we're going to get you taken care of with those. So at least one of those will be coming your way. So I'm going to put this on the floor, get it out of my way. I don't think we need it again. All right, so all of our cutting is done. Let me get my grid paper because I like to use that. And all my goodies are out here. Okay, and so what you can see is I just, by rounding those ends, when it goes on here, it's gonna fit a lot better. Okay. All right. Our next challenge on this one is to stamp our wheel. So I'm gonna put this aside and we are stamping. So this part was the challenging part. Like when people asked me if I would demonstrate this, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I could do that, sure. This took me a while to figure out. This was not a easy project. So here's my wheel, here's my template. I'm going to line those up just like so. Okay, so I've got that lined up perfectly. And I am going to, I'm gonna go ahead and put it here. I'm gonna hope that I can get that just right. The interesting thing with this is, so instead of, most of the time when you're doing these wheel cards, let me just kind of pull this out. So most of the time if I was going to stamp a greeting, I would stamp it this way so that it's going towards the inside. But on this particular card, you're actually pointing everything down because it's on that lower portion. So each little animal gets pointed down. So I'm actually, I remember I do have to do this out a little differently. So we're gonna put our first little animal here. And you can see I've got my, I wanna get him just straightened up in there. So the first one's not so bad because you can do him pretty easily. I'm gonna just lift that up. And I am using the Memento ink, the jet black, and I'm just gonna ink him right there. I only wanna do one animal at a time. Okay, and so you can see he showed up just perfectly within my little window there. All right, so I'm gonna turn my window again, and I need to clean it in between. We're gonna just get that all wiped off. And then let's do this little raccoon. Again, I'm gonna pick that up. See if I can get him there. Okay. And you may have to use a little bit of a sticky note again. And I can't really find my sticky note, so we're gonna just put a piece of paper over here. But I just wanna make sure I don't get any extra on there. So again, I'm just gonna do the little raccoon and ink him up. We're gonna come over, and I may have to move my magnet because it's getting in the way there. Let's try that again. That's the nice thing with the Stamparatus, is if you don't get it right exactly the first time, you can always go back and do it again. Okay, so let's do our next one. I want to get it straight up and down. Again, have to get it cleaned really good. And I might be able to move this up and down somehow, but that wasn't really easy to do. All right, so let's go right here. We're going to get him straight up and down there. Yep. I can move that out. Okay. This is one of those, I don't know if you guys have like nervous ways that you stand or you do different videos or you're stamping, but I have to stand to do this. This isn't an easy thing to do. So I'm not really worried too much about the top and bottom if they didn't get fully stamped. So you can see now my wheel is complete. Okay. So now we have a bunch of coloring. How many of you have Stampin' Blends? Hopefully a few of you do. If you don't, it's a great thing to collect. All right. So now I'll bring that one in. I'm gonna bring my other pieces over here. Okay. And the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start using my blending brush. And I'm gonna start with the Balmy Blue. And if you haven't gotten any of these, I think they're back in stock, so make sure you get some of those. So I'm just going to start here. This is the top part, and I want to create kind of a sky look to this. I mean, I'm not being super clean with it. I'm just getting some ink on there. And I'm going to come all the way down as far as we can here. And this is one of my cards that I really do kind of cover that line. I did forget to tell you another way to take care of that. But if you don't like the way it looks and that's going to show in your design, take this paper and put it in between, like fold a piece of copy paper and then run it through all of your plates with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss a couple of times, and that will really smooth that out quite a bit. But like I said, I've got lots of creative ways to show you that you can cover that up, so I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And you could always, design your own too if you wanted to. All right, so I got my blue on there, but I'm also going to need the blue to match on the wheel, because if I don't do the blue back here, it's going to look kind of weird. That's going to pop out. So I'm not worried too much if I go into those areas, because I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends over it, but I kind of want to avoid it too. So just, you want to get some ink on there, but don't worry about it being perfect. You just want a little bit of color so that it doesn't stand out like a stark white. Again, if you get a little bit of blue on the little animals, that's okay. It's honestly not going to show in the end, and hopefully nobody's going to point it out to you. Okay, so next I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, which is my favorite green. I think it's the only green I use anymore. It's so bright and colorful. It's yummy. I love it. So we just want a little grass on there. So that's it. It was just pretty simple to do some ink blending there. All right. Now, major coloring. So last year, I kind of got a wild hair up my butt and I wanted to learn more about coloring. So I took some classes from a lady in Australia, and her name is, I believe it's Elise Keegan, I think is her name. But she offers some free and also some paid classes, but on coloring. And she does it with colored pencils and with alcohol markers. She uses all different brands. So, she just kind of shows you how you can do it yourself. So I really loved some of her classes. I learned a lot from those. And definitely check those out if that might be something you're interested in. One of the things we did was like a wood grain, and she kind of showed it with using about 4 or 5 different colors of brown. So that's what I'm going to do too. I like the cinnamon cider dark. I've got the bronze, and I've got the soft suede light and dark. So I'm going to start with I think my soft suede dark is the darkest. So sometimes I'll just mark them out and see which one's the darkest. So compared to the bronze, the soft suede dark is my darkest one. So I'm going to start with it. And I'm just going to kind of go in here and do, and again, I am not a perfectionist when it comes to coloring. I wouldn't even say it's my best skill. There are people that are definitely much better at it than I am. But it is something you can practice, and certainly, I like to take classes too, just so I can keep my skills up. So we're going to do this, and again, I'm not being super accurate here or anything. I think my raccoon on this one might be a little blurry, but it's probably just a little slippage from my Stamparatus. Maybe he's moving fast. All right. So does anybody have this set already, or is this something that you're thinking about getting? I don't think I've sold a lot of these. I thought it would be a really popular one, and it just didn't really do as well as I thought. All right, so I'm going to go in with my next darkest. And again, I'm just kind of drawing some lines through there. As you can see, I'm not coloring. I'm not really go. Got one more here. Again, this is that bronze, which is what we use a lot for our skin tones too. All right, so I'm going to take my light. I'm going to go ahead and go with my cinnamon cider here. Kind of like giving that little red to my wood. Yeah, she showed us like how to do like knots in the wood and everything. I mean, it was some fancy stuff. I'm not that fancy, guys. But if you like woodland creatures, these are probably some good colors for you to use. And there's no way I'll get this looking exactly like the other one I did, but pretty close. So yeah, if you're looking to do those markers better, I would say check her classes out. Her website is called Kit and Clowder. I think it's Klowder. But yeah, some of her beginner classes were free. And so I did a bunch of those to start. And some of it was just basic stuff like on shading. And just, it really kind of upped my coloring game a little bit. Like I said, I'm still not what I would consider a pro by any means, but certainly anything I can do to improve is. So I'll bring this up a little closer so you can see after I'm done what those look like. So yeah, so you can see, like I just kind of did that and it gives that wood grain appearance using all those different colors of brown. So different than what I would have done, you know, before I took her class, just so you know. All right, I'm going to color this little birdie because he's standing out pretty good. And we're going to start with some real red. Let me zoom this in a little bit. That way you can kind of see a little better. Hopefully that's good. All right. So this one is the darker red. And I'm just going to come under the wing and under here. And then I'm going to use the lighter red on the top. Let me bring that in there. There we go. That's pretty simple, right? We definitely need a little bit of orange for the beak. Boy, I'm going to have to take a picture of my desk when I'm done with this because you guys won't believe what a mess I'm making. Okay, so I got the beak on that, and then the owl has a little beak too, so we're just going to go ahead and take care of him while we're there. Okay. All right. So my next color, I'm going to do the little raccoon, and I'm just going to color him in gray. I'm just going to do him a straight gray here because he's already got the black shading on him. He'll be pretty good. Okay, so he's pretty easy. Let's see what else we've got in there. We have a little owl. I did him in gray too, but I did him with some darker accents. So we'll do him gray. And like I said, that gray just mixes right in with that blue and you really don't even notice a difference. Oh, I should have had him up a little bit more, sorry. There he is. And let me get some darker shading on him. I know that needs to be over there. Okay. There we go. A little bit there on him. And then we have a little squirrely too. Oh, I did little pink and everything on her. She's cute. All right. I'm going to use some crumb cake. I'm just doing the light first. Little bushy tail. And then I'll go in and add some darker crumb cake also.
And this, you know, the blends are one of those things. I do have all of them, and I even have extras of some of them because I use them so much. And once you start, it's really hard to quit. Get his little paw in there. Okay, let's give him a little bit of pink. He needs a little pink nose, doesn't he? And little pink ears. Gotta make him look cute. He's peeking out of the tree. All right. And then back to my favorite Granny Apple Green. I'm gonna do some grass down here. And you can see my pencil lines from where I did my Stampin, what is it? My scan and cut. Jeez. Forget what it's called, but I'm not going to worry about it. So these I'm just going to go in. What I look for on this is I look for the leaves that are behind. So if the leaf is behind another one, then I put a little bit of the darker there, right where it. That's the easiest way I can teach you that. But again, there's no right or wrong on these. You're not going to mess it up. That's the nice thing with the blends, is you don't really have to worry about any complicated numbering system. You just have your lights and your darks, and it's pretty easy. So here, let me get that one too. And then I'm just going to go in with the light and finish those up. And sometimes I'll go in with one more darker one and just kind of trace around to give it a little bit more oomph. But that's about. And I could probably go in, and I think I did do that actually. It looks like I did on the sample one. Looks like I did go in and do blue in between. We may see how it looks without it, and if we don't need it, we don't need it. Okay. Almost done with the leaves. Here we go. So see, you can tell that there's the shading on it, but it's not anything too fancy. All right, so now we have all of our little pieces here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my clouds on. I'm gonna go ahead and get them on. So I am gonna use the Tombow for that. And looks like I've got dimensionals sticking to it, so that's good. I'm telling you, dimensionals get on everything. And those little papers get on everything. Usually my dog's nose. Let me bring this out just a little bit more so I've got a little more room to show you here. There we go. Okay. So I want this cloud up here at the top. I'll do one over here. And we'll do one right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my tree and get some dimensionals on it. Now remember, I curved that part, and that's so that that'll fit right over that area. Pretty seamlessly, but I want it to come just right there. Okay, so I've got that on there. And then I had a little boo-boo on this one. He kind of peeled up when I peeled back that Post-it notes. We're just gonna glue that back down and get that out. There we go. Put some on here too. And this one I have come up just a little bit higher onto there so that it kind of camouflages that a little bit. Just like so. And if you wanted more cut off of that, you could do that. But there is our front panel completed. All right. So I need to find my little circle. And if I can't find, there it is. Perfect. I found a circle. And I need Be patient with me. I gotta find a pokey tool, also known as a paper piercer. And pokey tool is not where it usually is. Well, my life doesn't go on without a pokey tool. So we're gonna have to, all right, so we're gonna have to like improvise a little. So, paper clip, that works. All right, and I'm going to put a brad into that. We're going to put it just like that. And now we're going to want to do that. I'm just going to line. All right. Boy, if you don't believe me, things go missing here so often. Okay. So I'm not putting that down, but I am lining it up. Okay. And I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of here. I just want to line that up in there. So I've got that right there. And then we're gonna put this little guy on there. So I could have put the brad all the way through, and I probably should have, but I'm just gonna adhere it on there. I want it to be a little looser. I want to give it a little more height here. So we're gonna put, just gonna figure out where my brad is. There we go. All right, and that should, oops, you know what, I did that wrong. Okay, guys, I knew I was doing something wrong. Okay, bear with me. I knew I would goof that up. All right, we're gonna start over there. Let me remember what I did there. Ah, there we go. Yep, I did have to put the brad through it. I knew that. So let's go this way. We put that. Right, hold on. All right, so it's been a week since I made this one. Dang it. Yeah, okay, that's the ticket. So we're doing it like this. Okay, so brad. Right? Brad. Oh boy, you guys are getting to see me goof it up. Brad. Dimensionals out. Okay, so circle. So brad, circle, dimensionals on the back, brad through both. This goes here. Oh, what a night, right? And back we go. So we're going to put that back in place. So hopefully I didn't screw you up too much. I knew I had it backwards. Darn it. Okay. So see, I'm not perfect. I always have people, oh, you do cards so perfectly. No, guys. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to. So I'm going to put my dimensionals on the back here. And then we really just got 2 more things to finish off the entire card, and it is done. I like to line up at least one of my animals here. There we go. Okay, so we've got, yay. So the only thing I have left to do on this, and I think most of you know how to do that, I would do my little greeting on there and then also my little arrow. So And that is how he spins. Oh, pretty easy. And like I said, I've got some other really creative ways that you can cover that line and that hole. Honestly, I didn't think that was a design flaw at all. I just thought that was something that I had to cover. So that's how that works. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Glad to answer anything for you. Again, remember that special is just through Monday, so through the holiday weekend. And if you order, I'm going to send you one of these cards and also those in color jewels as well. So that's really all I have for you tonight. The other things that you should probably be aware of is our Join Plus promotion is still going on. So you can join Stampin' Up! For $155 and it only will cost you $99 plus tax. So that's an awesome deal. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. And then we also have a host special going on for a couple more weeks where with a $250 workshop, you get $50 in free merchandise. So if your wish list is really crazy long, hey, that's a great way to get it. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm glad you were able to join me tonight, and I look forward to the next time. Let me know if there's something you would like to see in a future video. Have a great weekend. Bye.